casually show it. They saying, go ahead, put out a project, but my life been a project.
Yo, what's up? It's Miguel from Front Steps. Come on in, you guys. So if I knew you guys were coming, I would have baked a cake. Not really, but we'll start with some front desk. This is our lounge area. It's an artwork of Missy that I did. We're in production slash event slash like we're getting ready to take support system sound check on the road. That's my daughter Ellie. You guys say what's up. So first things first, when it comes to Front Steps, we have our office guidelines. So little stuff like respect the space, the people around it, good energy matters. The big one for us is share your dreams, business ideas, and creative vision without them being stolen or borrowed. If you hear somebody who has a good creative vision or an idea, instead of trying to borrow and do your own thing with it, try to find a way to bring value to it, and then that way you guys, it's faster in groups. That's how we feel. Artwork from Alex Fran, local artist. This is a part of his Detour Wichita, where he does his rendition of acts and concerts that happen here in town. This is my son Miles' artwork. He's a Scholastic Award winner. He has super dope art. This is just random stuff that we collected throughout the years. So I don't know, Little Penny, starting lineups, Little Yachty, Reese's Puffs. So, but we're always working on stuff. So right now we're getting ready to take the support system on the road. So we're getting ready, and how's that look logistically wise? This area right here is set up for like whenever we do boiler rooms, our DJ J, DJ Shay the J, she DJs up here on the regular. We got artwork from majority of local artists. Art of, who did that? Oh Snap Bruv, Cornell, this is me. Mathematics, if you guys remember Mathematics, it's an old, it's not old, it's a streetwear. The original, I can't say original because Free was the original, if you know, you know. But Mathematics was a streetwear brand that was in 2015, I think that's when they closed. Artwork from Basque, Key to Our Old Office. We have Brooklyn. We have Priscilla Brown, DJ Hyla. My man Zoe from Germany, my man Germ from Sacramento, Erica Kana, Pidal, Trey Grayson, artwork from me. This big piece is from Fabes. Over here we have Cody, Brady Scott, Sarah Myers from ICT Tree Huggers, Tasha, she does black and white photos. A lot of people know her work, but that's like one of her first cutouts, which I'm very excited to have. Apex, Brittany Stewart, Nerves, Sheldon, me, Tasia from Hutch, not to be confused with the other Tasia, Joe, but Joe also did our signs, Lakey, Tasia's daughter, design pieces for me, Indiana, Priscilla Brown, Gianna from Port Vita, Caesar from Port Vita, Sam, Cement, Arta Darnell, Wante Wolf owns Prairie Wolf Jiu-Jitsu Club, Quack. That piece up there is a new piece. It's from Sheldon. It's for Q the Elevated. He's based out of San Antonio. He's from Wichita, but yeah, he does super dope stuff. The portrait of me is Wes. It's old piece. I think that's from like 2012. The one above it is the RBU. It's like Rap Bastard University. Artist named Brendan Lawless. Super dope artist, but cooks. We got, who did that? Alan Loud Kicks. And then we got Scum. All our merchandise that we have. Drops that we're working on. We're set up for a podcast as well. So like my whole thing is like, how can we help? So we've been in a lot of rooms where people will be like, hey, I have to think about it. Like what I'm trying to do at Front Steps is eliminate all that and be able to people know that they can be seen here and they have support here. So what support look like? It looks like a lot of different things, right? So one of those things is like, I've heard people be like, hey, I want to start a podcast. So how do we start a podcast? And just buy equipment, and then if you build it, they will come, right? some more of our merch, random stuff we collected around the years. Over here is where we filmed the support system sound checks. So on the walls, this is 75 of the 222. So basically we do 16 a month. So in the last year, we've done 200 and X amount in the last year in like 2 months. So yeah, but that's a tour, man. So work area, all that stuff.
Let's go. So talk to me, like why this? You know, first of all, talk about the name and why you named it this.
So front steps, it's a weird like blooming onion of like stuff. So front steps, like the ideology of it is like when you're young, you get told that you can't leave the front steps, and then once you get older, you want to hang out with your friends out on the front steps, and then as you get old, hopefully finding the love of your life, and you guys spending the rest of your life on the front steps looking out on your legacy. So the thoughts of what a front steps is, a porch or whatever the case is, it's internalized in a lot of people's like thought process, but it's actually an acronym. So it's future representatives of now and then, but the most important is success through every person's support. So I firmly believe that without supporting each other, that we really can't truly have success. So if you think about it, you know, if you are successful, if you don't have your people around you, like, are you truly successful? You know what I mean? I guess you can have the monetary thing, but there's a lot of lonely people on yachts, and there's a lot of lonely people in Lamborghinis. Doesn't mean that if you have those items that you're lonely, but you know, my perspective of it is like it's only good when your people are around. So
most definitely, and you know, being an entrepreneur, you know, I'll go to cities and I have to eat it late at night, right?
Yeah.
And I'll be at a bar, and there's always that man that's like, hey, I built this business, I have millions of dollars, but I don't have anybody to
share it with.
You know? So what you're saying is huge, man.
Yeah.
You know, talk about consistency. So you have consistency on your shirt. When it comes down to the brand in general, how important was consistency to your growth?
So I think consistency, a lot of stuff is, when it comes to consistency, it's you can wrap consistency and discipline in together, right? But I think with Wichita, where we struggle is being consistent, and not that people are consistently doing things. But I believe that Wichita has this historically, and this isn't just nowadays, it's historically been like this in Wichita, that we support things for 6 months, and then after 6 months it falls off, and then it's not cool anymore, right? It's like shiny new toy. So think Toy Story and Buzz and Woody, right? So eventually there's a new Buzz in town, and then next thing you know, Woody's not as good. So what winds up happening as business owners is that we feel like we're not doing right because we don't have that buzz that we used to have, right? But that's when you have to dig deeper and you have to be consistent to show that you can weather the storm. So with us, being consistent is everything. So we drop 16 sound checks a month. So basically every other day is when we drop sound check, and we've been doing that for like the last year. So it's not really something stay consistent for me, but it's to show people that consistency can be happening, but it comes through a lot of discipline and a lot of sacrifice. I think we don't talk about that. There's the sacrifice that you have to put in order to be successful. So
for sure. Man, and the sacrifice part is huge. And let me ask you this, do you feel as though when building this, the sacrifice that it took from the ground up, do you feel as though that was a catapult into where you are now? Because in all actuality, you know, you could have cheated here and then it wouldn't be as significant, but do you feel as though does that make it more significant? So I think that goes right back into what the steps actually are, right? So anybody who like talks about process and steps, and so that's wrapped in it too, right? It's like these steps that we have to take in order to reach a successful level, or to feel a certain way about whatever your success is, right? So, and I don't know, man. So a lot of people don't share like the dark side of being an entrepreneur, right? For sure.
Or being a creative, or any of that. We always show the positive, but a lot of people, I always tell people, like, they're like, oh, you're killing it now, but I'm like, bro, you didn't scroll down far enough. Because if you scroll down far enough, you can see what the audio was different, you can see that the lighting was different, you can see that the conversations I was having in my car, and I still have those conversations. I was talking to someone the other day, and I was like, the conversations that you have in your car are usually the conversations between you and God. You know what I mean? So those are the ones that really make a difference, because those are like the truth. That's when wife's not around, that's when family's not around, your significant other, your partner, that's when nobody's around, when it's just you, and you're sitting there and you're talking in your car. So yeah, I've been on both sides, man. You know what I mean? And I still think that we have work to be done. Like, I don't feel like we're nowhere close to where our potential. We're not maxed out. You know what I mean? I don't really see a ceiling with this, but it's not really about having a ceiling, more so about the legacy and the social imprint that we're attempting to put with doing sound checks and what Front Steps is. So the work's never really done, you know?
I like that mindset too. For me, I always tell people, man, please don't compliment me, because it's going to make me get right back in the lab whenever I leave this venue. You know what I'm saying? So I like the mindset of there's always work to do.
Oh yeah.
There's always a way to get better or something. So yeah, that's huge for me, man.
And I think that really comes down to like being like, it's almost scary too, right? Because like you almost start to feel like, am I a person that's never satisfied? Or how I see it is like, there's always something else to be done. Like, again, my job isn't to it's not for my glory, right? I was talking to Councilman Joseph Shepard. This is pre him being the councilman, yeah. And we were talking about this same thing, and he said this quote. He was like, Miguel, what it sounds like is that you're planting a tree that you'll never be able to enjoy the shade of. So I was like, damn, that's a bar, and that's exactly it. So it's not really about me, it's about like everybody who comes after this, whoever can grow from this. And once we figure out that Wichita is actually like a cool place to be, then that's when we can actually start, growing and stuff like that. I think Wichita gets treated as like the Khloe Kardashian of all the states, right? Or all the cities. Like, I agree. We're always thinking about like Kim, who was like Kansas City, or Courtney, who was Oklahoma. And, it's like, nah, like, you're pretty too, but you have to view yourself in that. We're not. Ooh, that's a great analogy. You know what I mean? Like, we're not like that. We treat ourselves like we're the ugly sisters, and that we're not deserving of, but we are more than deserving of, but we need to stop chasing everybody else. We need to chase what makes us happy.
I definitely agree with that. And it's like, to a certain extent, it's like the new Christian rap. The old Christian rap was mad corny because they was trying to sound like the rappers, but now new Christian rap is they trying to sound like themselves.
Well, you just embrace it, right? And I think that's exactly it. It's like you need to embrace what you have, right? Mm-hmm. So you might not have the perfect team, you might not have all the perfect things, you might not have what people assume as like the perfect office, but this wasn't built in a year. This was like literally brick by brick of us me putting in work for years and cultivating stuff by, positive vibes, being supportive. And now we're starting to see what everybody else is starting to see. But even then, like, I'm always been to come from a place of like humility. So it's like, I still feel like we got work to be done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that, bro. So let me ask you, since I want to be real authentic, I'm gonna have you walk over to the more creative area.
Yeah.
Every area in here is more creative, but the clothing area, I want to say. Well, because I want to ask this question. So my thing I just want people to see, the dope background you got. When it comes down to the new climate, so my thing is, what I've been studying is, bro, that innovation is not as prevalent as creativity, meaning like people take creativity over innovation these days.
Yeah.
And that's when the game changed, when that happened.
Yeah.
I'm not going to even say for the better, right? So talk to me about that. What's your thoughts on that?
So let me make sure I understand the question. So like creativity being more important than innovation?
Yes.
I think, but
that's what the world is making it right now.
Yeah, so true creativity causes innovation, right? So I think that's the biggest thing. It's like, a long time ago, people would get made fun of because they were different, right? Now everybody wants to be different, but it's like, how about you just be authentically you? And then once you lean into that pocket, when we start doing the sound checks, it wasn't something that we saw, it was just an idea. and it's spawned from here. Like, you know what I mean? It's authentically us. Like, so if, I think everybody leaned into that versus trying to lean into like, hey, I think this is a good idea. You know, I've seen somebody else do that. Doesn't mean that you can't add that to your gumbo, but at the same time, like, you need to lean in where your purpose is, because I think that's the true driver of creativity, is leaning into your purpose. And to innovation, right? So you start leaning into your purpose, and then that's when you start innovating stuff. So
let me ask you this. Talk to the person right now who's running from their purpose because they're making so much money. You know what I'm saying?
Running from their purpose because they're making so much money.
I see a lot of that right now.
You know what I mean? So to talk to yourself. I think what it comes down to is like, what's your legacy? What do you want your legacy? When everything's said and done, when the curtains close and the cars go away and the fancy houses and all that stuff, doesn't mean, again, that's not you, right? That can't be you. But once all that's said and done, like, what makes a difference? You know, like your kids, like, the impact that you left on the community, you know what I mean? So that's what it's really about. My biggest thing is like, you know, and the reason why I even started Front Steps is like, you know, eventually I know I'm gonna pass away, and somebody's going to like see my kids after I pass away, and they're gonna say what? Like, hey, your dad did X, Y, and Z for me. You know what I mean? When I didn't see it in myself, your dad saw X, Y, and Z me, and that's what motivates me. So it's not the cars, it's not the houses, although all those things are nice. Benefits of being successful, that doesn't dictate it. The dictation of what dictates if you're successful or not is how much impact you have made on somebody else's life.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah. Do you feel like what you're doing now in life, does it fulfill you?
I think it does, but I really think what it comes down to is like, does it always have to be a scoreboard, right? In the real game of life, is there really just a scoreboard? The way that you really should judge it is, again, like, how much impact you have brought into the world. Like, how much change have you worked? And I'm not talking about grand scale of things. I'm talking about just in your local circle. Like, have you pushed people to become better? Like, have you tried to like change people's lives? Again, it doesn't have to be a monetary thing, but it has to be pure change. Like, have you changed their mindset? Have you tried to bring good into the world? And again, you know, that's loaded too, right? I just try to do more good than I do bad, right? So if I'm mindful of that, and again, just being mindful, and I can teach people to be mindful, then, you know, I think that's the win, right?
Let's go.
What's up, mama? Would you do it? That's crazy.
So let me ask you this though. So, you know, I'm a brand guy, right? So when it comes down to the all-around branding of your store, why'd you decide to go with the concept that you went with?
All right, so the concept, so when you look at the halo, right? Because the halo is fairly new, right? So, well, it's not fairly new. It's like, I know it's 5 years old, but when you look at the halo should be a reminder of you doing good in the world, right? And I guess brand color orange, originally I'm from San Francisco, but I'm also an old sneakerhead. So like, it's the shade between the Nike orange box, orange box and the San Francisco Giants orange. So it's like right in between there. So you know what I mean? It's a combination of those two oranges. Sure. So yeah, that's, you know, but brand wise, why I do what I do, I don't know, man. It's really just about, you know, putting that positive into the world, man, and trying to make a difference in people's lives. What's that look like? I don't know. You know, it's weird because, like, you know, people who have access to like the space and our merchandise, it's not like we're crazy online and stuff like that, but it's very meaningful when you see somebody with that. You should know that that person is moving with purpose and moving with the ideology of what we do here at Front Steps. So
for sure.
Yeah.
What is if you could, you know, somebody right now, they're literally trying to do what you're trying to do, or what you're doing right here. They're at day one. We'll say they're at week one, right? And they're getting frustrated. They want to quit already. Give them some advice, man.
Frustration, if they're getting ready to quit, they're at week one. find out why you want to quit. Is it quit because it's too hard, or is it quit because like I feel like I'm not getting anywhere? To be completely honest, like front steps as a concept was started in 2004. So like, if what we're in 2026 now, so we're at 22 years, bro. There's people who wear our clothes that weren't even thought of when front steps was thought of. Do you get what I'm saying? So like, and we've had things happen. You know what I mean? We've had like where the money got messed up, or like, hey, some stuff came up with the house, or medical bills came up, and we just never, like, if it's worth pursuing, you'll do it forever.
Most definitely.
You know what I mean? So you don't, like, it's, with front steps, it's not really like I have a choice. I don't have a choice. Like, it's just ingrained in me. Like, I have to see the vision as clear as my hand. You know what I mean? So, and that's exactly what I do. So I'm just, at that point, I'm just moving in purpose. You know what I mean? So being purposeful with how I'm moving, you know? So.
For sure. Well, shoot, 2 more questions for you, man. Now, number one, what is the, you know, if you can give a person one book, what would you recommend them?
Oh, shit. All right, one book. So it depends. I'm gonna give them a few books, and depending on where you're at, right?
Okay, that's good.
So a book, if you're just starting off and you are like, hey, I'm just trying to get in the game, Atomic Habit.
Yes,
Anybody who knows me knows I'm a big fan of that book. I read it like at least once a year. The next book is if you're starting something and you don't know really which way to pivot, being the best at what matters most. I forgot who wrote it. It's not John Maxwell, but I think dude's last name is Maxwell. Okay. So being the best at what matters most. If you're trying to establish you like a plan, Pat Bet David, Next 5 Moves. That's a really good book. And then like people who are like, you just want to be on some other stuff. 1984, man. I think that's a really good book. It's you know what I mean? Obviously not a self-help book, right? But Extreme Ownership, that's a really good book too. That's a great book. Yeah. Authentic by Paul Van Dorian, the owner of Vans. He has an audio book, and that one's a really good book if you want to learn about culture and like really like putting your hands on your business. Mm-hmm. That's a really good book. But there's a ton of good books. But Extreme Ownership's a really good one. But Atomic Habits a good little starter book. You know.
Extreme Ownership propelled me into entrepreneurship.
Oh yeah,
propelled me into a different mindset as a man.
Yeah, well, and you gotta, but with those books, with those kind of books, you gotta be careful with it because you start like changing the way your views are on your life. So you might wind up projecting that onto like your spouse, your parents, and all this other stuff. But it's like, take life how it is. Another good one, oldie but goodie, the Bible. You know what I mean? The Bible, if you really read the Bible, and it's not because I'm trying to be religious or a person of faith, but if you read, like, just, you ain't got to read it all the way through. Just read where people, like stories of people where they slipped up, and them stories that get you. Sodom and Gomorrah is a good one. Job is a good one. What is to do with the hair? Samson. Yep. Samson. Daniel in the lion's dens. Those are bars. Like, you know, now you can go to the easy ones and like David and Goliath and Moses and all those stuff.
But if you do go to those, study them deeply because there's still lessons in those.
Yeah, and exactly. But those big ones is Samson, Job. And what was that last one? Daniel's in the lion's den. Daniel, if you navigating and you don't feel like you're protected, that Daniel in the lion's den is a good one. You know what I mean? But any one of those books, you know what I mean? The Sodom and Gomorrah one's a really good one too. So, but yeah.
It's crazy because the Bible and Art of War. The Art of War, of course, has a little less lessons in the Bible, but the Bible and Art of War are very similar in certain lessons.
Oh, yeah,
if you really concentrate and read through it. But, yeah, man, I mean, I appreciate you letting me record you today for Steeze Talks. Yes. You actually are the first one, so congratulations.
Hey, made the cut, baby. Made the cut. You said, we made it, you guys. I was like, yeah.
I guess, just give me an outro for me.
Outro, support your people. Don't put too much weight on it, on anything, you know what I mean? But the biggest thing is support your people and move with purpose, man. when you match passion with purpose, then stuff gets done. You know what I mean? But remember community and culture, man. If you can work on those two things.